From 13 years old, I was my mum's carer, her rock and her daughter. She stayed married to a narcissistic man who just happened to be my father because he emotionally manipulated her into staying with threats, guilt and control. We were stuck. Years later, I decided to sell the flat that I owned with my husband. We put that money into building an annex on my mum and dad's house so that we could live there and I could be her carer full time and take care of her properly. My father lied to everyone. He told everyone that he paid for it. And then he decided to charge us rent that was through the roof. Even with the sale of our house and the extra money we had left over after building that annex, we were still struggling to pay this rent. He never helped care for her. In fact, he confined her to one room. That was it. She was allowed to stay in one room of the house, like a prisoner. And you see, the thing with my mum is she got so used to being treated this way that she stopped questioning things. She stopped trying to fight back. I cared for her full time until I got really sick, and then I was unable to do so. And not only that, my relationship broke down and ended in divorce. After all that, I eventually got back on my feet. And you know what? I don't have a single regret. I went back to caring for my mum full time. I gave her every second that I had, every ounce of love. She knew how much I loved her. She knew that she was my best friend. In fact, towards the end, she was the only person that I had. We were the only people that each other had. And that's why I don't regret it. Because I needed her and she needed me. She made a will with my dad to make sure I'd be financially secure when she passed, because she knew that I'd given up everything to take care of her. My home, my health, my marriage, everything. And then in August 2022, she died. I was the one who made her final days peaceful. I was the one who arranged all of the funeral, all of the costs, everybody's goodbyes. I did everything. I sorted all of her things out. I chose her outfit. I did it all. But, of course, Dad took credit for everything. By April 2023, I had found love again. And it was a solid relationship. I was finally happy again. And my dad also had a new girlfriend, but his wasn't so fresh. You see, he tried to move this girlfriend in whilst my mum was still alive. Obviously, I didn't let that happen. And the narcissist in him came out. When he was refused something, of course, that's when you always see it. Well, his girlfriend saw it, and she didn't like it. So she left him, and his mental health spiraled. By the summer, he was acting so erratic. It was scary. I didn't feel safe in the house that I had built because he was next door. Then one day that September, he lost it. He accused me of lying about everything. I'm not sure what everything is, but apparently I was lying about it. He chased me around the kitchen in a rage, and honestly, I was scared for my life. It was then that he told me the inheritance was off the table. I wasn't going to get anything. To which I replied, I've never asked for a penny. That's what you and Mum wanted. That's what Mum wanted. And then I left. I just walked away. Because what's the point? We left with barely anything. And he changed the lock so I couldn't go back and get my stuff. And I did call the police. Because I wanted to get back in, I called the police to escort me back in, but because it's his property, and because I no longer have a key, I didn't stand a chance. Isn't that crazy? So we ended up losing around £17,000 worth of things that we owned that we just couldn't get back. And to be honest with you, I don't care about the money. But there was a pouch with some of my mum's ashes that were in there, and I wasn't even allowed to get them. And then my sister who barely spoke to my mum, who wasn't there, She never made any effort. She never did anything for my mum in her final days. Nothing. She uninvited us from her wedding because my dad dangled that inheritance carrot in front of her face. And of course she took the bait. Of course she did. I realised no one wanted him. No one wanted my dad. Everyone just wanted the money. I was the only one who cared about him, the only person he had left who really, really cared. And he threw it all away because he could no longer control me, and he hated that fact. So my partner and I had to rebuild from nothing. We actually moved to Jaywick for a while, which is a place that people tend to look down on. But let me tell you something, that community was real. They were kind and they were supportive. And it's because of them that we started to thrive. And then in 2024, we made the bold decision to move up north. New town, new start, peace. We're building a new life together. And honestly, I have never felt so free. I may not have much blood family left, but what I do have is far better. A partner who loves me, a community who supports me, and a soul that's finally unchained.